Well, hello.
Hello, everybody. Hi. How is everyone?
How's everybody doing today?
Really
Hi.
well. Really. Not just say really well.
Really well.
Oh dear. Well, tonight, everybody, I have the wonderful Jason Rothman with me. We also got Ricky and Tyler from the Tuesday night show, and I've told
Hi,
them already
guys.
they're not allowed to go wandering off. Right, so they can do that on their own damn show, not my one.
Where's Ricky?
Where's Ricky?
Ricky's above. So if we just let you guys introduce yourself for a moment, plug yourself and do what you need to do. So Jason, tell everybody who you are.
Hi, I'm Jason Rothwell. I'm a spiritual medium from Manchester in the northwest of England. I'm sure most of you know it. I've been a medium for 5 or 6 years. There isn't much more to tell about that. I'm a church medium rather than a live Facebook medium or anything like that. That's what I do. That's who I am. Yeah. I don't know what else to say besides that. It's sort of a catch-all, everything.
Well, I know for us, this is our first time actually meeting you face to face, so it's very nice meeting you.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure that we'll talk a lot more during the show and after the show. Thank you for having us today, Richard. We really appreciate it, and we've kind of been looking forward to this. I'm Ricky, by the way, and that's Tyler. We're from Divine Sparkle. Most of us, you see us on our as Richard says, our fortnight show. It's every other Tuesday. I had to actually ask him.
I told him everybody no wandering off.
I never knew what a fortnight was until I asked Richard.
Richard, we have to get the coffee.
Yeah, when the door knocks, get the Starbucks, and we'll sit down.
And then we'll sit down. Then we're focused. What's prepared, Richard? What is that word?
What are we?
What's with the blue hair?
What'd you say?
Yeah, light blue, dark blue.
What's with the blue hair?
Oh, it's just something different. You don't like it? Can't let Indigo be the only one with the crazy hair.
Express yourself. You know what I mean?
That's what I've got to put up with, Jason. Every fortnight, that's what I've got to put up with.
I wish I could change my hair to that colour, but my hair's so black it won't change. It just goes grey when I'm finished with it, so it just has to.
I can get you.
When Ricky
get it.
When we come to the UK, Ricky got you, because I have black hair too, but he gets it every single time.
He's Mexican American, so you know.
If we get 2,000 followers on YouTube, I feel like Richard should have to dye his hair blue. I feel like that's something that we should do.
Yeah, I do. I agree with that.
Feel that.
Yeah, I do too. Would y'all like to see Richard with blue hair, everybody? Yes. If we got up to a certain amount of followers.
I could say I've got blue hair because I never show myself on camera. How does anybody know that's really me in that picture? That could be anyone.
You are like the great and powerful Oz sort of sitting behind a screen and nobody gets to see.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say
never get to see his face.
Well, yeah, maybe not powerful Oz, but you're probably like a tiny little 4 foot nothing person.
He feels powerful with all those buttons, though.
Like, yeah. Oh, I know how to push a few buttons. Keep it clean. Anyway, just do some hellos. We'll quickly say hello to Veronica, lovely Veronica.
Hi, Veronica.
Thank you for everything you do, Veronica. You're amazing for helping everybody.
Hi, Marcus.
Oh, Marcus. We love Marcus. Kisses.
I also saw Pamela. I'm going to say hey to her. Hey, Louise. How are you? Welcome, everybody.
Louise. Hi to Kim.
Hi, Kim. Is it Harknett?
Harknett, yeah. We've got Christine here. I just might as well say hello to both Christines because it's if you get one, you get the other.
Christine Davis. Hello.
Christine 1 and Christine 2.
Yeah. So hello to Lauren.
Hello, Lauren.
And we've got Terry as well, who's popped in.
And hello, Terry.
So really fast, guys. I'm going to ask everybody to please share out to like-minded groups and individuals. And we also press that like and subscribe button so you can get future notifications from all of the amazing people, readers, shamans, healers, everybody on SBTV.
Are you trying to take over my show?
I was just going to say, that's like...
Just a little bit.
That's Ricky. It's the Ricky show.
Bless him. We love him. We do love him. He does do that. Bless him. And we've got our Mary here as well. So I can do it much better than
Hi, Mary Dixie. Mary comes on my Facebook in the mornings and wishes me good morning every day.
Oh, she's a very good teacher. Hello to Jane G, who's popped in as well. And we got Bill.
Hey, Jane.
Bill. I should say not Bill. Bill.
Oh, hello, Phil. I hope Wimbledon is treating you well.
Actor, you know. Did you know? He's an actor.
Is he?
He is, yes.
I thought it was just Wombles that came from Wimbledon.
And
Tim Penman.
We've got Vic who's here. She's updated a picture. That's a nice picture of you there, Vic.
Hi, Vic.
And we've also got Holly.
Hello.
Another nice picture.
Hi, Holly.
Oh, she has a lovely smile.
She has, hasn't she?
She does,
also got Sue here.
Hi, Sue.
And we've got R. Kelly.
R. Kelly, is it? Oh,
R. Kelly.
You mean
R.
Kelly?
Yeah, but she's R. Kelly, you know.
Richard.
I know, but I thought if it was like R. Kelly, then it was like, really? R. Kelly is coming watching us tonight? Like,
yeah, he called me last week. And they got Janine, she's here.
Hi, Janine.
Hi, Janine. Welcome.
Phil was saying I would look great with a blue rinse.
With the blue rinse.
Yeah.
You're not of the age where it should be a lilac rinse now, Phil.
What do you mean about it? You cheeky fucker. I'm not that
It
old.
does. At a certain age, it has to be lilac, doesn't it?
That's mainly women, isn't it, who dye their hair certain colours. When they get to a certain age, you know they can do it blue.
It's when you know you're shopping in Harrods, when all the ladies walk past with purple rinses. And they come in through the fire door.
That's so funny.
Hello, Wendy.
Hey, Wendy.
And we got Heidi.
And
That's
Heidi.
a great picture of Wendy there. Look, Wendy. I got my names wrong tonight. Heidi, sorry. We've got Benny who's in as well.
Hello, Benny Thai or Benny Thai.
Benny Thai. And then we have Stephanie who's here.
Oh, Stephanie. That's Stephanie Ewig is one of our mentoring students. She's all the way from Washington. Hey, boo.
We do have a mentorship.
And Jessica Locke.
And we have Michelle who's also here as well.
Hello, Michelle. Your surname is a Crystal. And hello, Pamela Roger.
And Pamela, yeah. Rick and Tyler, have you posted her prize yet?
No, we have not. But we will. We have it.
We got the free reading for the other person.
Yeah, we just had to get it off to the
post office.
We've got Jessica who's saying hi, and Lindsay as well.
Hello, Lindsay. Kato.
Oh, Lindsay. She's always hey, Lindsay.
Pamela, just to let you know, our next day for post is Wednesday.
Marcus wants to know.
We'll have you out Wednesday, okay, Pam?
Marcus wants to know why didn't our beards get dyed as well? That was too much.
It's kind of like when you go to buy something and you only have half the money. You only got half of it done. So, yeah.
That would look really strange. Like if you had like a blue beard. I mean, you'd need a peg leg and a patch just to pull the look off.
Yeah. So when I was looking up my teal hair, it's actually called mermaid hair, and they had men with like dyed blue and green beards. Like it's like all sorts of different colors. So it's actually a thing. I wouldn't do it, but there are men out there dyeing their beards blue, purple, orange, sparkles, glitters, whatever you can do.
And then sparkle.
Do what? Can you imagine that? Why would you dye your chest hair? You might as well just go and jump in.
Maybe you're doing it for charity or something.
I'll wax or shave my hair, but no, I'm not going to dye it.
You'd end up looking like a hairy Smurf. Do you have Smurfs in America? Do they have Smurfs in America?
Yes.
Oh, right.
Well, it is an American show, I suppose.
Is it? Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you just.
What's wrong with American shows?
No, I never said that. I said it.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Don't you start on me, young man. It's going to be one of them nights, isn't it? Right. Okay, if you want a war, I'm very clever because I got something called.
On that now? They talked about Smurfs.
I've got something called mute button on my system, so yeah, behave your bloody self.
The only trouble is the last time that Britain went to war with America, it didn't work out so well. They ended up getting their independence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look what happened to that.
Yeah.
oh, let's pick on America time. No, let's not do that.
We'll come over whenever, as long as you're paying, Richard. We'll be right there.
Oh, well, now, of course, you go anywhere as long as someone pays for it. It's like anything, isn't it? So I've just turned up my volume. People are saying that, Richard, you are quiet. So
yes, it was hard to hear you.
I have just turned it up for you. A question: do either of you know about crystals?
I do.
That would be Tyler.
Right. Okay. I have I don't know the name of it. It's just purple crystal to me. That's all I know. It was given to me. I have no idea. It seems to be going clear.
That's called cheap amethyst.
Cheap amethyst. I was gonna say it sounds like an amethyst.
That's it.
Fading.
It's losing its pigment. Yeah.
It's probably like dyed glass.
Oh, I was gonna say it's probably dyed agate. Yeah.
It's losing its pigment.
Yeah. I noticed it this morning. It's been on the windowsill for years. I just don't bother. And I was.
Oh well, that's why, Richard. It's on the sun. It's taking it out of there. You goofball.
Well, I thought the sun, I think, gave it energy.
Well, it does. It charges.
It does, but there are some stones that will lose, especially if it's dyed. They'll start to fade. Like even damberite, like pink damberite. Like this is one that I got. It was really really pink when I got it, but just having it slowly they just fade.
Okay. So much that bin it then and get another one, or just leave that as it is, and it comes as a nice clear crystal.
Yeah. Just do what he did with his hair and put it in a tub of paint.
And re-dye it. There you go.
Just re-dye it and put it as something else.
Yeah. So if you were starting out then, and you wanted to get a crystal, what would you look for? What would you feel drawn to a crystal? And if so, why do you feel drawn?
Tyler actually came up with a really good way of getting crystals that you kind of tell him, baby. You're drawn to them.
Yeah, so we've really been pushing people to really go with your intuition, right? It's a way to build a conversation with your guides is what I've been telling people. So before you go to the crystal store, tell your guides, let me be drawn to, what I need for my energy, what healing do I need, what energy do I need to bring into my life?
What would help me right now?
What would help me right? Yeah, exactly. And then go to the crystal store or get online and always just hold. I feel like each crystal gives off a different vibration. So I always just hold it. If I resonate with it, I take it. And then I always try to hold it for a couple days before I do any research on it, because you just want to go with that intuition.
And what's right with us may not be right with you or another person.
You'll look up crystals and you'll look up the meanings and you get pages and pages of stuff. So again, before I do that reading, I tell my guides, whatever jumps out first will be for me. Like I'll take that as my message. So there's sometimes I'll look up a stone and this part of it will resonate, and then other times I'll look it up and then it's this part. So I always tell everyone, just intuition. Don't get too hung up in knowing like specifically what it's for. That's always my suggestion.
And it was funny because we were at the crystal shop the other day, and we always go at least twice a month. Cannot keep this man out of the crystal store. He could have 1 million crystals, and he's still, baby, can I get a crystal?
I need multiples to do crystal grids. I need multiples to do crystal grids.
We go to the crystal store regularly, right? So we go in, and it's packed. Like we can really tell that people are. There's a mass like openings, right? People are opening up. They're really having awakenings, and it's really amazing to see all these people exploring themselves, their energy, their spirituality, what they actually can do, like what they're really made of, and who they really are. Like they're discovering this, and it's just fun just to watch people explore that and really like feel crystals out. And Lady asked Tyler a question, and he goes, no. He goes, don't look them up. He goes, what I want you to do, he said, go ahead and look at all these crystals, feel them, touch them, pick them up. He said, and the one that draws to you, the one that says, you need me and I need you, that's the ones that you need. And then fill them out, take them home, play with them a little bit, and then look them up. Try to feel what they're doing to your body, like where you feel the energy at. And that's what he tells people to do, and it works every single time. So that's kind of like, he got me doing that with people as well.
It's quite a good idea, really. Like, if you should just go with what resonates with you, what like draws you, attracts you, and then like do the research. But I mean, probably from being like British and like poo-pooing things, you want some crystals. You should go with what you're drawn with. But once you've had it like a week or two, you should probably look up like what's going on, because you're bringing a new energy into your house that sometimes has like dodgy effects. You've like, I've been sleeping with this crystal under my pillow for the past week. It's lovely, but I can't sleep. It's like, well, that's because that crystal's not designed to help you sleep very well. It's like gonna mess up the energy. And then like some crystals, as lovely as they are, can actually like kill you. So like you shouldn't really have like lots of pyrite in your house, because it'll send you bonkers. So I knew a lady who made a necklace out of fool's gold, and she's like, this is lovely. It's like, it's lovely, just so dangerous. Like, that's why you keep pyrite in oil, because like it can send you insane. Which this lady was already mad though. So.
Okay, so here's an example though of this perfect. Okay, so we have pyrite, right? And I use a couple of it in our grid for with smoking quartz to help with EMF protection, and then also for our abundance, right? I put oil over it, and I didn't know that you're supposed to put oil over pyrite, and it's just something that I naturally do with our oil. So it's kind of funny that you say that. See, I just do things, and then I end up getting validation of why I do it. So,
but another example.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Jason.
Yes, another example of that, Jason.
Oh, you muted yourself.
It's because my dog was screaming the street.
Oh,
it's
is okay. So everybody's on this big. I know TikTok and all that Moldavite just blew up, right? And we've had Moldavite for the past couple of years, and half of it's not from here. I mean, it's from the impact from the meteorite and our pretty much elements here on Earth. When the heat combines, it creates the Moldavite, right? Mm-hmm. So then you have the actual Moldavite itself, or the meteorite itself. Well, I have both. Well, there's a lot of people that will see Moldavite and they'll go really fast or order some, and then they'll get it. And they'll carry it around, and then it'll make them sick to their stomach. They're emotional. They're all over the place. Next thing you know, crazy stuff is happening. It's because your vibration is not it's not attuned high enough for that crystal. It's just you're not ready for that high vibration yet. And that's what I try to tell people is don't jump from A to Z. Go to A, then to B, then to C. Take a gradual, slow but steady progress, because this is like spirituality and like crystals in general, like the Moldavite. I've known it to in the pyrite, it makes people crazy. The Moldavite, it plays on your emotions. It pulls what you're feeling out the most. So if you're feeling down and out and kind of upset, that's what it's going to pull out of you. It's going to intensify that. So guys, just be really careful about, which stones you go for that you just hear about that are, and the Moldavite's not cheap. It's kind of expensive.
If you want good stuff, then you have to pay for good Moldavite. But I mean, I had the same. One of my friends, he just started his mediumistic journey, and he wanted how do I boost my connection? And it's well, get a crystal that resonates with you. He didn't get a crystal that resonated with him. He typed in what will give me a more powerful connection. Moldavite pops up. The next thing he's got a piece around his neck. The next thing he's got headaches, and he's why do I keep shaking and I can't sleep? And it's because you've just gone and bought a crystal that's supersonic. It's going from, I don't know, it's like a drug addict going from poppers to crystal meth. Let's have that. It's where are you going in your head?
Yeah.
I will say I'm guilty of that though. When I first started, it was literally a $10 piece of Moldavite. It was really, really small with some kunzite, both of them very small, and I had them in my pocket, and it was just, I went to work with it. It was just too much. I was so open, I was feeling everything. Kind of made me dizzy, and I had to just go put that in my car and cut cords from it. So. And
I've always had Moldavite. I've always been drawn to it.
I can't mess with it.
I wear it every day. I don't. I wear it 24 hours a day. So
I have some in a box.
It helps.
I can't actually wear it.
Yes, and
me too. It's strange because some crystals, they just naturally know that they're not supposed to be with you. Right. You'll buy a crystal and then suddenly you'll find, and then it's gone. It can't stay on. I mean, I had a piece of carnelian, and I love carnelian, but every time I put this particular one on, I walk down the street and I'd hear it hit the floor, and I'm like, this is 4 times now. There's nothing wrong with this necklace, so why does it keep falling off? And in the end, I was just right, okay. And then one day it just fell off and went straight down a grid, and I was like, damn, I really like that stone. Well, then I was kind of it's the 6th, 7th time it's done it. It's probably not for me, this stone right now.
Yes.
I am still here, everybody. I'm just listening. Or not getting a bloody word in, one of the two.
Does anybody hear that? So
Debbie Marshall, Jason, which are the best tarot cards for beginner to buy? What's your opinion?
The best tarot cards? First of all, I don't know about the two guys, but I know what I got told when I was a child. You shouldn't buy them. They should be given as a gift from one person to the other. The catch-22 around that is you send somebody to the shop and you give them the money afterwards, but you don't give them the money for the cards. You give them the money just for the sake of giving them the money. But in Britain, you're not supposed to buy tarot cards. It's bad luck, which is the first thing before you even look at what cards to buy. Don't buy any. But I know that's different now, and people don't have that superstition anymore. But I do. But as for which ones are the best ones to buy, I think it's just whichever jumps out at you. The same with crystals, which ones, like, because some cards, you know, my friend has cards and I'm like, they're really ugly. And then they just look horrible. And I think, what even drew you to those cards? And it's like, oh, I think they're so beautiful. And it's like, no, they're vile. They're like proper.
They're vile.
Nasty. They're vile. His cards are vile. They're like fairies and dolphins. And I'm just like, what are you doing? You know, I mean, especially, I know it sounds silly, but for me, who's like goes to do readings, I want cards that like tell about my personality, and like set that tone of the reading. And his just like, when he pulls out his fairies and dolphins, I'm just like, oh please, this man's not associated with me. But just go with what you feel, Debbie. Just go with what you feel and what pictures look like they speak to you. And everybody goes for the Rider-Waite, but that ugly as well.
So how many packets of cards do you guys have now then?
We have
57.
Yeah.
We have 57.
And just to add on to kind of like what Jason was saying, like here in the States, we generally don't have that superstition. What I kind of was told and what Tyra was told a long time ago.
I have a different story though.
It's like what I usually do is for like, it just depends that like if you're beginning or if you're kind of like in, you know, already a tarot reader. If you're beginning, just starting out, what I would suggest is get something that has almost like an explanation of the card or pictures that are really like I like a lot going on in the card, but when they say when you're just starting out, get something that's real plain, not a lot of color, just something that you know.
Astrid.
No, ma'am.
Now our cat's being
that you can read. For example, like this one. I'll just show you. So these right here are the Oracle Tarot, and if you see on the bottom of the card, it has.
Oh, they're pretty.
You know, it has kind of like an explanation of what the card means. Like this one, let me see. Okay, so
careful what you put on screen.
Like the Six of Pentacles, right? And on the bottom it says unexpected, like see, it's unexpected.
Yeah.
So it has a lot, like it can help you. And then like another one that I like is this one because the pictures are very like I like a lot of color. I like a lot of images.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I like the backs of the cards when they call out to me. Like I just look at stuff and it just calls out to me. And but these I get a different meaning every time I look at them because there's so much there. For each individual person, you just have to feel that energy out. I normally don't really necessarily go with the meaning in the book. I normally don't even read the book. That's just me. I let my intuition guide me on the card.
No, I haven't.
Go ahead,
I haven't got time to read a book. When somebody said, I'll never remember all of these cards, and I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, I spend an hour every night reading from this book to try and memorize them. I was like, you really wasted that much time.
Well, Tyler devised a good way of remembering, like putting people, like their personality traits, and a person, like assigning a person
to the court cards.
To the court cards, like you know, like the Queen of Wands is, you know, somebody who's very, you know, inspiring, who they have control over their life. They can manifest things very easily. They orchestrate things. They're a leader. They have those qualities. That's what I see in the Queen of Wands. Very intuitive, and that would be like my mom. You know what I mean? Like I give each court card, a person in my life. I assign them a person. That way, when I look at it, I know what person that is, and I know how that person is. You get what I'm saying? That's another way.
See, that's quite cool because like the court cards, I relate them as my mum, my dad, my auntie, my uncle, my grandma, my granddad. Mm-hmm. And if it's a positive or negative, like upside down or the right way up, I decide whether it means the positive side of my mum or the negative side of her. And the same with my dad and that. It's like, all right, so this is my dad, and this is when he's like apathetic and he's not really engaged, and this is my dad when he's like intelligent and chatty, and this is my mum defensive and protective and loving, and this is when she's just being stubborn and getting on my nerves. So that was quite cool that you do that, because that's how I've always done it. Like the Emperor and the Empress are my gran and granddad.
So, I love that.
That's really cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's just it's the exact same the way you said it. It just makes me remember easier. Like, okay, that's me, Miss Mom. So
that's
what could it mean about my mom?
So
how you have 50 odd cards? Or packs of cards?
Yeah.
I have three, and I've read cards since I was 14. and I have 3 packs of cards. That's it.
Yeah.
Really? A lot of ours were gifts. We buy more oracle cards than the tarot. I usually don't like to believe superstitions when it comes to like your first tarot deck, but I will have to say I bought myself a tarot deck. I really wasn't like, I just couldn't get into it. And then I wanted to give it to Ricky. And then several months down the road, a friend sent me the Witch's Tarot. And as soon as I just resonated. It fit. I know I bought in a couple tarot decks for other people. Sometimes it helps because we get so caught up in like, you know, is this the right one? Do I like the pictures? Do I like this, like that? Sometimes it's just easier if someone else does it for you, because then he just takes everything out and then you literally get what you're supposed to.
I love it when I did a reading, and it always sticks in my mind. I was going to do a reading at someone's house, and Spirit says to me, like, take the other pack of cards. And I always had this same pack, which was my nana gave me years ago. And they were like, take this other pack. I'm like, oh, I don't know. I never use this pack. And then when I got there and I was reading the cards, I said to the lady, do you have a Greek Orthodox connection? And she's like, yeah, my grandma's Greek Orthodox and so am I. And the cards are a Greek Orthodox pictures. And I was like, I never use these cards, but the person in Spirit was insistent I bring them. And it was purely to make me mention Greek Orthodoxy. And it was like, it was so weird. Yeah. It was so strange.
Can I build on that, though? Because I think that's what is really important when you have a deck of cards, though, is remember, guys, just like crystals, these are your tools, right? You claim this deck as an extension of your energy. And I feel like once you truly are connected to your cards, you will have incidents like that, like, oh, no, I need to use this deck, or I need to use this deck. Or even further connection, I feel like, is when you're reading someone and you see the images of the cards in your third eye. I feel that is like that happens also. Pure spirit, right? We don't remember these things, right? But our mind, we give that to spirit and we let them influence that. So when those thoughts come up, we have to honor it by looking into it, I feel.
We're not allowed to use like tarot cards in our churches, but sometimes I'll like say to people, like, you can see I've got no cards. But at the moment, the devil is in my mind and the 6 of Pentacles is in my mind. So I'm not reading tarot cards because I don't have any with me. But Spirit is giving me the tarot card, so I need to give you the meaning of this particular card. And you kind of get frowned at by your chair lady or your chairman who's like, I'm not really allowed to do that. And it's like...
What do you mean by church? Because
yes, I want to have this
church here in these spaces. Like
we've never been to a spiritual church, so we're very interested in this conversation.
You have a spiritualist church in Quincy and one in Salem. So Quincy in Boston or Massachusetts. And then there's one in Salem, one in Houston. So you do have quite a few on the East Coast of America.
Yeah.
There's quite a few spiritualist churches. But like we have, how many? There's probably 1,300 spiritualist churches where you just go and do mediumship or sit in circle every other day of the week. I mean, where I live, within like 20 miles of my house, I think there's 40 spiritualist churches. So you can go see a medium every day of the week in church, which is really nice. It's a good community, but we have a few different bodies that like control the different churches. And they're like the big one, which is called the Spiritualist National Union. They don't really like tarot cards and things, so you're not really supposed to use them. And you do tend to get some I shouldn't say that actually. You get the Jam and Jerusalem crew, I suppose, which are the ladies who make Victoria sponge cakes on the Queen's birthday, just sort of glaring at you going...
So here's a question for you. For those who don't know the difference, what are the difference between a tarot and an oracle card deck?
Oracle cards, to me, and I'll just give mine because it's nice and quick. Oracle cards usually say your life is great and it's going to get better. And tarot cards usually say your life's okay. It's probably going to get a lot worse before it gets better, but it will get better in a very long time. That's how I always... Tarot cards don't always tell you good news. People get this really weird idea that I'm going to go for a reading. I can't wait to hear how good the future's going to be. And it's like, you're confident about that.
Yeah.
No pressure there then. So
gets me in trouble sometimes because I have no filter.
Some people only want a reading though to be told positive stuff, which I mean, I don't even have oracle cards really. and I tell a lie. I've got 3 on the floor there.
I told a lie.
No, they are. I told a lie. They're there, but I don't use them because they're just like they're positive, and life's not always positive.
I like to use, so I feel like the main difference is, like you said, I feel like the tarot really kind of tells you more of what's going on in your current day-to-day, right? Or like you said, past, future, present. And Oracle is more of, I feel like I use them as supporting cards. So if I do a standard like reading, I'll do 2 tarot cards, so 6 altogether, and then I'll pull 1 Oracle card under those 2 tarot to kind of help validate for what's going on. So
they're support actresses.
Yeah.
The Oracle cards are the support actors and the actresses, and then the tarot is like the main roles. You know what I mean in the movie, if that explains it. It's kind of like the tarot explains the who, what, when, and where, right, of the past, present, and future. And then the Oracle is like that supporting approach. That. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you can assign like the Angels Tarot or the Dragons Tarot or the Fairies Tarot. You know what I mean? You can come from different types of spiritual beings as well and channel those through different types of cards.
And I feel like that is the biggest difference between tarot and Oracle. I feel like tarot is already a set story that has its own entity, and I feel like Oracle cards are someone else's interpretation of their spiritual connection, or you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm sure you've watched The Matrix. In The Matrix, the Oracle, she says, like, you know, you can only see as far as the decisions you've already accepted. And I always think that's with the tarot. Like, the tarot will show you as far as what you've already accepted to be the future. It's the path you're already on. And people are like, oh yeah, I kind of thought that was the way I'm going. It's like, well, yeah, that is because that is the future that you've accepted to come. Whereas an oracle is a bit different because it's like, actually, you haven't thought about this idea yet. That's sort of kind of how I take it. I always imagine it. I always see the little lady on the bench feeding the birds. And it's like, yeah. I don't know where I've just gone off there. My head went into a random tangent.
I told Ricky that I thought I used to be a crazy bird lady.
You said the lady.
Look, right here, baby. Look, bird lady. Look what card he has right here.
Oh, yeah. That's quite cool. And she is like that. She is the little lady sat feeding the birds.
I'll show you.
And it's the moon card. That's really crazy. That's funny. I love spirit.
Jason, Terry's asking, have you ever been to Bury Spiritualist Church? That's the one she goes to.
Oh, I hope she means Bury in Manchester. I have been to Bury Spiritualist Church. It's not one I go to often, and to be fair, I try not to.
That's so sweet.
It's a lovely church. Its ceiling's very low though, and its foil doors I nearly fell through once, which wasn't very clever. In answer to your questions, Henry, yes, I have been to Bury Spiritualist Church. But
look what card this is.
I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, death.
Death. Look, it's the bird lady for real.
Wow.
Sitting on the bench. When you said that, look, there's the bird lady.
And she's feeding the crows as well.
In the background, though.
It's like a park. There's like a ghost.
It's the ghost, like the ghost of the past, I guess. I don't know if you can see it. I'm gonna try to make it go slower.
So it looks like she's walking by and saying, "Oh yeah, what's going on here then?"
But you can tell. See how she's muted out, like in this like ghost colors. So you can tell.
Just like an avatar on the film. It's all blue.
But yeah, that's what when you said that, Jason, I was like, hold on, this flashed in my mind. Is kind of like the death. You know, this is what people are going. Like a lot of people are going through this right now. That death of ego. And I think that's really important for us to kind of, when we feel like we're being torn away from like things that we really no longer need, but yet we're still wanting to hold on to it. That's when we're splitting away. That's when we're starting to part from our egotistical self and start to accept more of a spiritual type approach to ourselves. You know what I mean? That's kind of like what a lot of us are going through right now. A lot of us, we're losing our ego.
Do you think that it's... Go on, Jason.
Sorry. No. Sorry.
I was just going to ask, since obviously the lockdown, I've seen an absolute mind-boggling how many people have come online offering readings.
Yep.
And I mean, it's everywhere. I've seen people sitting in cars. I've seen people sitting in their toilet. I've seen people doing all sorts, not in their toilet, but I mean doing readings, doing card readings everywhere. And then they charge like $45 or whatever, and then they get a book out and they start reading from the book.
Yep.
And people are paying. I remember seeing one gentleman who I thought, I'd come on, I'd just watch, see how he was doing. Because obviously when I was on Facebook, I was going around doing a bit of research.
Right.
And this one guy was sitting there, he refused to give anybody any readings unless they gave him $7 first. So I spoke up and said, can I just ask a question? I said, I'm not being rude, and obviously I understand you're there to make a living, earn a living. I said, but how do I know if you're any good before you give someone a reading? Surely you should give someone like a 1 or 2 card mini readings, and then if they wish to go further or go in more intense, then you're asking for the $7. But
right.
Why should I just come straight in and give you $7 when I have no idea what you're going to do?
Mm-mm.
Do you think Go on.
Debbie Marshall watches one in America, and if Debbie Marshall's still watching, she can tell us his name. And I'd pay $7 just to look at him. I don't even want to read him.
He feels that way about.
I get that all the time, hence why I'm not on screen.
That might be the person. It does sound like Tyler. I'm pretty certain it's Debbie will tell us. I'm sure if she's still there, but I would just pay £7 just to watch him. Not even if he's any good, just to.
But and double it to shirts off.
Just a quick letter. Just reading what Michelle's saying. She goes that a VIP card reading would be awesome. I will see what I can do for Michelle and Stace and everybody else who suggested it. So yeah, leave it with me. I'll see what we can arrange to do. Was that a VIP card training or just a bit of fun giving each other readings?
Yeah.
If you let me know.
Sounds cool. What was the question inside? Like all of these people like turning up.
Yeah. Do you think it's oversaturated now?
Here's the thing.
I'm trying to find the right words.
People they weed themselves out, and here's what I mean by this: is that we've been almost 2 years now. Me and Tyler's been on Facebook. We started off giving very cheap, discounted readings because we had just started out, but yet. We developed our reading styles. We started to channel spirit a lot better. We unlocked each other. We unraveled ourselves. A lot of people, and we sacrificed and just gave in. We said, okay, you can have it. I want to embrace my spiritual being. I want to learn as much as I can. I want to humble myself. I want to embrace this thing they call unconditional love, because before Tyler, I really didn't know what that was. I knew what it was, but I've never felt embraced it.
Look at these two, Jason. Look at these two.
You can tell they're American.
So,
me and you were arguing over which one of us gets to speak and apologising for speaking over each other, and they're like unconditional love. Like, oh my god, there's two British people in the room. We don't do this.
We just so. What kind of happened is, we just kind of developed ourselves anyways, but we noticed that, yes, Richard, a lot of people along the way, especially since quarantine, has been thinking that, they can do it, or he can do it, or she can do it. I know I can do it. But when they start, they don't sacrifice. They don't devote themselves. They just want the quick, the fast, and the hurry. They don't want to be patient, humble themselves, talk to their guides, do the work. They just want instant results. Like we're at Hogwarts. We can Expelliarmus this. This is not magic like that. This is you being your true self. You're
not real. It's a TV show.
Right. So what happens is they start and they just go at it at a weird, just different approach. Just really hit it just as fast as they can. They're off. They're everywhere. They're here. They're there. They're breaking out the book. You can just tell they're not in it for everything. They don't have everything in it. You know what I mean? They're just they're only wanting to sacrifice 10%, not 100. And that's when you start seeing them going from 4 times a week live to 2 times, then to 1 time. Then they have a post on there. Hey guys, my new job starts tomorrow. Yeah. So thank you. And during our mentorship, we kind of cut that out in the beginning. Like if we tell people, if you're not devoted to this, we're not going to mentor you. We're not just here to take money. We're here to help develop
or give you readings.
You know what I mean? We're not going to be your on-call mediums. We're here to help you develop your spiritual gifts. And that is what's kind of the difference between, you can see it, Richard. You can see who's devoted and who's not. You can see who's
definitely
really legitimate and who's not as well. So
yeah,
I know you can see, Richard.
It's
Richard's like, nope.
It's one of those things, isn't it? Like, it kind of puts you in a funny bind, I suppose. I've been having this argument with myself this week, and there's a few people like floating about at the moment, and you see that they're like, they're raking in the money, they're racking up the followers, they're going live constantly, and they get this, and I don't mean this to be negative, but they get this like hyper inflated sense of where they are, and it's like your ego is pushing you along a road that is not the road you were meant to be walking down. And then people say to me, like, why don't you go live more? Like, I could do. But if I do that, then I am the people that I am not feeling, like, And part of my ego, I suppose, because we all have one and it still exists, is triggered by that. And be like, I do this properly and I'm not doing that. And my ego, and then I have to tell it to shut up and just be like, you know what? Shut up, chill a bit. We've got 60, 70 years in this thing. They're here for a season. Let's leave them here for the season, and hopefully a bear will come along and eat them at the end of it.
Not so drastic, hey? And then put them in McDonald's.
And it sounds, without going into it too much, what I see lately of these people who are like just sort of popped up out of the woodwork over the past year, go through a development course, the next thing they're a fully fledged medium, it makes me really angry. And it's a type of anger that I have to sit with and like talk myself through, because like, to me, spiritualism is my faith and my family heritage. It's like what we've done for like, my family have done spiritualism for 200-300 years, and so it's there, and I feel when I give messages, I'm honoring my family, and I'm also honoring like my God and my faith, and I'm doing what I believe in. 100%. And then I see these people, and it's like, you want money, you'll tell yourself that it's for the love and the light, and everybody love yourself, get on the journey, and in reality it's for your bank account. And mediumship is not a way to get rich, and it doesn't, and it shouldn't. And
yeah, but it is worth a £1 billion in the UK a year alone. And as Benny just said, is it really?
It's 2.3 billion in the USA, and it's 1 billion in the UK. So it is worth money. I get that, but the thing is,
do they tell you how tiresome you get, how much energy you have to put in it, how you have weeks where you go days at a time without even being able to get up out of the bed because you've over-channeled, you've overworked your body? Because for me, I'm a physical medium, so I can bring in the energy into my vessel and let them speak and present their mannerisms. And I'm pretty sure at the Spiritualist Church, y'all have like a physical medium that y'all do trances or something with.
Yeah, we have those.
Yeah.
Well,
so that's not like with me. I have to be very careful.
Well, when you look at a lot of...
Oh, sorry.
No, sorry. So when you look at a lot of like women in Spiritualist Church, for example, how strict that they are with the people who welcome their rostrum. And they have somebody like Phil Shaw who does trance mediumship, developed for years and years and years. And going back to what Penny said earlier on, that she's noticed suddenly that lots of people have become mediums, and it's embarrassing because they just sit there and say, I've got your mother here, she's telling me that blah, 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 blah. But there's no evidence there whatsoever. As just reading what Phil was saying, it takes discipline, it takes time. You can't. I've seen mediums who are very good at what they're doing, and they've been on our channel, for example. They've done a couple of shows and thought, yeah, I've got my audience now, I'm going to do my own thing, and good luck to them. And I've noticed they're getting tired, and they're working so hard, and they're just draining themselves, as you said earlier on, Ricky. It's if you're going to be a medium, you have to have that discipline. You must know what you're doing, and you must give the evidence. No good just saying, I've got a mother here or mother vibration. But give me more information. What is it? Is it your mum? If there's a mother vibration, that still could be a man who has that feminine feel to it.
Yeah.
And I think some of this is coming from, though, that perception, right, when we see people on Facebook, or we see them on TikTok, and we see them on YouTube, right? We see a chunk of their spiritual life, right? We don't see their actual spiritual side, right? Because that is something personal. And I feel like, you know, when people find readers, right, they obviously, we're all gifted. We all have that birthright to tune in. So yes, there is going to be mediums everywhere. We all have that ability, right? But just because you have that ability, you know, not everyone has that call, right? Where does you specifically, on the other side of this call, like sitting, you know, on your couch or wherever you are, where is Spirit telling you to put your spiritual life, right? Where are you being pulled to? Not all of us are meant to be, you know, online and doing readings. And, you know, some of us is just meant to have the knowledge and spread that love and light. So I feel like it's not putting what you think other people think your spiritual life is and what you personally think it is, because
everybody channels energy differently.
Yes.
It's kind of like American Idol or X Factor in a fashion. Like,
yeah,
everybody on the planet can sing. Not everybody can sing well, but everybody can sing so long as they do it from like a true place. So everybody can connect to spirit from a true place. He's got his hand up.
We're not in school.
Richard, I gotta go pee-pee. Is that right?
No, use the bottle. It's right in front of you.
But,
it's like they told him off to keep going up and down all the time.
Get out of here.
But everybody can paint, everybody can draw, everybody can sing, everybody can dance. If it comes from their heart, they can. But whether they can do it well in a professional fashion, that's entirely different. And people, I think, just sort of go, oh, I can pull some cards and what have you. And it's like, there's a lot more to just pulling some cards. There's a lot more than just saying, I've got a lady here. You know, you've got to be able to emotionally connect with people. You've got to be able to control an audience. If you're working on the platform, you've got to be able to keep a good connection with one sitter if you're doing one-to-ones. And you have to learn from your life experiences more than anything. Like, it's not a way to go, here's an audition, you pass the audition, there's £1 million. It's like, the stuff that's gone on in my life, some of it's been hard, like really, really hard, and some of it's been nice. And now I look back at it and go, I get what all that stuff was about. Like, that particular memory, that particular action, it was spirit preparing me for like this particular point.
Well, that's what people say, isn't it? You go through all these, if you're a medium, or you're working mediumistically, you go through so much heartache, so much pain, having no money, or whatever the case may be. And people think, why do I have to struggle through all these pains and heartaches when I give so much to spirit? Well, you're going through this, so when someone comes to see you, you can relate to a degree or try and understand what they've gone through. So if you've gone through a heartache or a pain or whatever the case may be, then you can understand by giving that message. So if spirit gives you a feeling of heartache, you know exactly what it means because you've gone through it. That's why you're going through these lessons, to help other people. That's what I believe.
And I feel like that's another misconception too. You know, people think that because we're readers, we have all the questions and we have all the answers. And it's not us. We're just that bridge, right? We talk to wherever it comes from to help you, right? And I feel like, sorry, I got lost in my thoughts too again. Dang it. What were we just saying?
What was about channeling? Talking about, like, I was gonna say, like,
dang it. My like whole thought
TV channels, for example, right? So, for example, some men like to watch ESPN. Some men like to watch, you know, the Fox News. Some men like to watch. Some women like to watch. It just depends. Like, everybody has different content that they channel, right? It's just like television. All the TV programs they have. I mean, all the TV networks, they have different programs that they play, right? And it's kind of like a similarity to us. It's like where I'm more of a visual and audio person, and Tyler's more of an intuitive. He knows and he feels. He gets details. He gets to the nitty gritty. I bring that spirit out. I channel that energy. I give male, female, how they passed away, what I feel, the initials, and he'll get like the full name instead of the initial. He'll get like their date of birth, their age. He gets the feels, you know, how they live their life and the details of it, where I just get them, You know what I mean? So we work together. That's another example how mediums channel. I don't know how you channel energy. Jason?
I'm sorry. I remember what I was going to say. It was talking about sometimes when you're doing readings, you know, a lot of the time as a reader, you will give a reading and it's so similar, like you said, to the experiences you already have gone through, right? And sometimes we do those readings to activate like healing in our own lives of things that we have put off, right? And I feel like that's what people don't realize starting to give readings.
I'll try and steer away from going too deep, but like I was talking about this last night with the lady, and something happened to me when I was like 17, something rather traumatic and done unto me by another person. And I struggled with that for a long time. And then I got into mediumship and started to heal with it. And because of that action happening to me, I've probably done 60, 70 readings that have involved that particular scenario, like happening. And I can sit there and say, look, you can open up to me about this. Like, and they'll say, I've been for readings before, but nobody's ever mentioned this. And it's like, that's because that medium has probably not lived through this moment. And so they can't recognize it and resonate with it. They can't sympathize with you or empathize with you on it because they don't know. But I do. So this is a time, and this is why we're here, because I know what you felt. And then I kind of, last night in this chat I was having, I came to the conclusion, if I get to the end of my life and God says to me, you can go back and change one thing, I realized that one thing I wouldn't change. Like, if I could go back to that moment and they say, we can stop this happening, I'd be like, let it happen.
Like, it's like this psychologist, I think I've told this story many, many times. There's a psychologist called Kate Hayes, and she has something very similar to what you were saying there, Jason. She gets all these people in the room and she says to them, I have the ultimate power. I can do everything and anything. You tell me what you want and I'll make it happen. And she went round the room and then she went to the one person, okay, what do you want? I don't want to suffer heartache anymore. Don't want to do that. Don't want to go through that anymore. I've been hurt too many times. She goes, fine, I can sort that. I'll take that away. Then she goes on to the next person. This person says, I'm ill. I'm always ill. I'm feeling pain all the time. I can't deal with this pain anymore. I need to take it away. She goes, fine, I'll take it away. And then she goes round the room and everybody's talking about what they want to give up. And then she just stood there at the end and said, right, okay, all of you are now zombies. You're just dead. Because what you've asked for is to take away your pain. So that's a feeling. Mm-hmm. And she goes, okay, and you say you want to take away heartache. You never want to feel heartache and pain again. You never want to feel love again. Well, that's a feeling. That's an emotion. So I'm taking that away from you. So you're all zombies. You have no emotion. So you're never going to grow. You're never going to learn. You're never going to know what it feels like to love. You're never going to know what it feels like to care. You never know what it's going to feel like to be in pain or to hurt. Because when you don't have that pain and you feel happy, that's also an emotion. So when you're not happy, you're sad. But when you're happy, you can be really emotionally happy with tears and you're in laughter. You feel that love from someone. And it's the ultimate gift that someone can have is that love. It's an emotion. So if I take that away from you, you're nothing. You never will learn without that emotion. And as you grow by learning and understanding what you're going through, that could help someone else. I've always believed people come into this life and we meet certain people at a certain time. You might know someone, you might know them for about 2 years, and then you disappear, you move on, you do something else. You only every now and then talk to them. But within those 2 years, it's meant to be. You're meant to know that person. You're meant to help that person as though they're meant to help you. Some people say, well, that's cancer. Well, okay, if you've gone through cancer and someone else comes over and speaks to you and you ask how you are, you say, I'm fine. How about you? Well, I've just been told I've been with cancer. And you say, well, I've been through that. You're going to be all right. You're going to survive this. You can consult because you've understood, you've learned, you've grown from that experience. It's not nice having that, but at least you can understand and sympathize with someone. When you hear people on the phone always saying to you, well, I can understand. Do you really? Do they really understand? Have they been through it? Because every experience is different to someone else. They can have something similar, but it's definitely not the same because we all have different experiences in our lives. So I think we've got to be careful when we go and see mediums, or mediums got to be careful what they say, as the fifth principle is in the UK, of the SNU.
Personal responsibility.
Precisely. We have to be, as a reader, you have to be responsible to what you say, because people will take it literally. I've seen people on this channel who come here every day, and it's really great because it's nice to see them, and we get to know them, we get to worry about them, we care for other people. And then when we have that community spirit, when someone doesn't turn up, we wonder if they're okay. But a lot of them don't ask for messages. I know a lot of them in the chat room tonight, they don't ask for messages, they just come along because of the community spirit that we offer. But it's some people who come on and just say, can I have a reading, please? Can I have a reading, please? And you're thinking, why?
You have to sort of, steer away from the word sort of religious leader with the word medium. But like, I don't know if do you remember John Wayne when they used to do the cattle drives on the films? I think some people who've joined and call themselves mediums don't realize that like your job as a medium is to be on the horse at the outside of the herd, like just
soul navigators.
Yeah, this is the way we're going. You want to walk up that way, you walk up that way, but you can only walk so far up that way before Spirit's going to like pull you back to the rest of us. Yep. And we're there like sort of keeping a bit of a light going, saying, it's dark, but we've got the light, it's fine. And some people, they want to come, they want to do a reading, they want to get their money, they want to go. And yet I can't count the amount of people who pop up on my phone every day. Do I want a list of 30, 40 people every day coming, bringing me their problems and their grief? No. Do I want them not going anywhere? No. I would rather them come to me and tell me what their problems are and what their situations are and give them some guidance if I can do. But a lot of these new mediums, if medium is even the word to associate, they just want their cash, they want their reading, and they don't even want to do the reading, really. They just want to get paid, and then off they go. Whereas, I know for myself, definitely, it's a vocation. It's a vocation, and the people who follow me or come to me or read my stuff, I feel responsible for them. I have a responsibility for them.
And we kind of are.
Well, we are, yeah. We're I suppose, like, go super, super religious. Jesus was a shepherd. Mediums are shepherds in their own fashion. They shine a light around and sort of try and guide people as best they can with positivity. But what you're saying, Richard, about like things happen in in time, in their right time and the right people, just pick up on that and then I'll shut up. I believe like what happened to me, that particular memory I referred to, if it had happened years earlier, it would have ruined my life. If it had happened 2 years later, it wouldn't have been in the right place to cause the damage it needed to
That's really powerful. That gave me goosebumps.
Divine timing.
All my hair just stood up as you said that.
It's so strange. It's a fact. 2 years earlier, it would have destroyed me. 2 years later, it wouldn't have been powerful enough, and that would have like not done what it did. And so people say God works in mysterious ways. Well, God did a partial evil unto me. And by his partial evil to me, he has through me done greater good. And exactly. And I'm cool with that.
I relate to that statement. I really can.
I'll carry that scar because that scar's done a lot of good. And it wasn't that bad. Like, it's bearable for the amount of good you can do with it.
Exactly. I really, really, really like that.
And then this is the thing. This is the other thing, guys. So, we as mediums, we kind of have to be careful what we filter through. I have no filter, but yeah, I'm still very almost like present in what I say and how I say it, because what we say, and especially if we're mediums that are known, to be right, be on point, it's kind of like people believe us because we've had so much, we have receipts on everything that we say. If we don't feel it, we don't say it. Everything that we feel, like for me and Tyler, we've made predictions. They usually always come true. I will not speak unless I'm pushed to speak. And I had to learn kind of like, a little happy medium, like nothing about, like death. I don't bring in negativity into the reading. If a spirit comes to me and they're concerned about someone, and they feel like they might be passing on soon, and their daughter has this, like, say the mother that's passing away and the daughter, they have a like a tiff. They've been going back and forth, so they have some unresolved issues. But yet Spirit is stepping forward to tell her, or tell me to let her know, hey, she's passing away soon. You might tell her she might need to make things right, get things off her chest, because, you know, people, when that stuff happens, if they don't get to like get that closure, that can do a lot of damage to a person. So what I do is I present it in a very elegant but uplifting way, and they'll be like, well, you know, she's not doing great. Well, Spirit is stepping forward to let me know, especially your grandfather. I think his name's Clark. Just like the other night, I was like, stepping forward to say, you need to kind of spend as much as you can with your mother, because I know the year's in. I'm just going to let you know that. And I'll present it in that way, because you have to be very careful.
What is going on here?
You know, when I give someone, like, yes, I feel like I will be pregnant at home. Well, I gotta be careful what I say, because if I'm wrong, I'm gonna get this lady's hopes up, because she's been trying to have kids forever. And I don't say it unless I know 100% without a doubt it is the truth. Do you know that feeling, Jason?
Yeah.
Overwhelmed with that, I know. That is how I kind of, you know.
I did a reading in New York, and this lady wanted an answer on her court case, and I was like, look, we don't really supposed to do legal readings, and I don't really predict the future, but your partner, etc., whoever it was in spirit, is like, by the first fire of Rosh Hashanah, you'll find that this thing is moving in a positive direction. And she's like, you know, what does that mean? I'm like, well, when Hanukkah or Rosh Hashanah get here, you'll light the candles on the menorah, and that is the positive sign. And then she's like, so is that good or bad? I'm like, just tell me what happens when that day comes, and when that day gets here, you'll know the answer. And she was like, okay. And then it got here, and it was positive, and she was like, but they've told me that it's going to like carry on a little bit longer. It's like, we just keep positive, keep feeding that. Every message they give is like negative or dark, and it's about affairs or drugs or people thieving and stuff like that. And I'm kind of like, where's your mind at that that's what you're asking the Spirit to give to you? Like, why is every message you're giving in that dark vein? I question yourself where you are.
Because that's where they're at.
That's where they are.
I also think it's a little bit of ego.
Yes.
Like, there's great glory supposed to be had in saying like, oh, so much bad things are coming to your life. And then when that happens, you can be like, oh, well, I told you so. And it's like, I have given negative stuff through before when it's been asked by the sitter to say, like, just be totally honest and just say everything that you get. And you're like, okay, but not all of this is going to be nice. But the thing is, like, I did one once, and the lady asked me about when her death was going to be, which sounds...
But, I get that question sometimes.
Well, I answered the question in a joke, and I was like, oh, next month. And she was like, don't be stupid, Jason. And I was like, seriously? Your brother says, if you know Joanne, you're going to die next month. And she went, well, I don't know a Joanne, so it's all good. And I'm like, wait, it's all good then? And there was on the door, a nurse walked in and she went, hi, I'm Joanne. I'm here to see such and such. And it was like,
goosebumps, goosebumps all over.
But her daughter phoned me the month after because she told her to, and she died. And the thing that's like most people don't get, if for me as a medium making a prediction and my ability to connect to spirit, that's good confirmation. But I sat here for an hour and a half crying. She was a lovely lady, and I didn't want her to die. It was like, I'd rather be wrong. And then somebody gave me a message from her in spirit. They're like, this lady's here with a lasagna. You should know who she is. And I'm like, I know exactly who she is.
That's so amazing.
That really is, that just like hit me right here.
But I was so upset. Like, you know, her daughter was like, thank you so much for whatever you told my mum. And I'm like, you don't want to know what I told your mum.
But I feel...
It was sad.
I'm so sorry. No, I feel, because this has been coming up in our group and in readings, right? We mentor people who are getting into readings, and we've had this happen, right? I was channeling someone, and I just, like, all of a sudden it was all about her husband. I'm like, I don't know who this guy is. He's all about your husband, the health, like something going on. And then that was Thursday. Friday, she was in the hospital, and he's got a spot on his lung. And it's like our ego steps in and we almost feel responsible for that. And we can honor that, right? Because we're human, but we have to give thanks to Spirit as well, because, right, they show us the polarity of our gifts to see both sides.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes, like, you know, it's totally like you said with like the responsibility you have. I did a reading for a lady, and I put the cards down, and these cards pointed to something about her granddaughter. I tried to air it as best as I could, but without saying it, because I was like, I know what this says, but I don't know how to stop it. I don't know how to change it. I can't word it to you so you understand without telling you exactly what it is. But if I tell you exactly what it is, I'm either about to do you incredible emotional damage, or you're going to damage your granddaughter. And a few months later, like, she rang me and she's like, you know, when you said that, were you trying to say this? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, did you not think to just spit that out? And I was like, what? How do I spit out what that was? Like, how do I say that? And she's like, well, you were right. And I'm like, well, yeah, lovely. Much joy for me. Your granddaughter now has to live with that for the rest of her life. Lucky me. I'm so glad I got it right. And she was like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, no, don't be sorry. But my ego was like, I argued with myself for weeks about it. Like, did I do the right thing by not telling her? Did I do the wrong thing by not telling her? I don't know. And the same lady, the thing is, though, that it's so weird. She booked a reading 3 times last year. 3 times I forgot on the day. She texted me. She's like, Jason, have you forgot the reading? It was like an hour ago. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And we booked in the reading for like the last week of December. And she texted me. She's like, I guess you forgot again. And I was like, yeah, I'll pull you some cards, though, while I'm like thinking about it. God, I'm like, you know, January is going to be such a lovely month for you. You're going to be with your family. You're going to be happy. Everything's going to be on the up. She got COVID and died by January. Why was the reading kept cancelling because she was not supposed to know what was happening? And if I'd have seen it while I was sat in front of her, she'd have read it on my face what was said. Like, yes. Even if I'd have not said it, I'd have been like, whoa, oh dear. Yeah. So Spirit stopped it. So they work weird. They really do. And well, it's...
I was just wondering really fast. I was looking at a comment, and this is just me at like how I feel comfortable and things like. So somebody had made a comment. I had just looked down and seen it when I was talking about, you know, like the thing. Somebody said the screen was messing up, and I was talking about like fertility and stuff. And I was looking at a comment. Angel Moon said, "I think it's buffering because Spirit is saying we don't talk fertility law and things like that." Well, I honestly, and I think it's up to the actual medium or the psychic. It's up to their discretion, to kind of like what they almost like put out there, and it's their discretion to what they present. So I don't know, like I know for some it's like taboo or forbidden or like not it's frowned upon to talk about fertility or health, or there's one more.
Death.
But I do, you know, Reiki and angelic healing, so I always talk about health. I always do body scans on people. Fertility is one of my specialties. You know, I predicted 19 pregnancies. 9 of those was women that told never could have kids. So me and Tyler are obviously doing some healing while we're doing that to help with these people. But those are things that I feel comfortable with. And I don't know how you feel about those things, Jay. I would love to get your opinion, because I've always been, you know, very like boisterous and opinionated and just blah, 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 blah. Anyways, but with this, I'm very careful about it, and I don't speak unless I'm told to about it, you know?
There was a young girl who I went to read for 3 years ago now, and she was crying, and her mum was sat behind. But this baby is going to make me do something that I do not do. This baby tells me that within the span of the next 12 months, this baby will repeat itself and is going to come back to life. And it is going to be this baby, not a new spirit. This baby is going to come. And so you haven't lost it. It's coming. And she was like, the mum was like, are you allowed to do that? I'm like, I guarantee you, I am certain this baby is coming. And I said, I do not wish to speak to you again until this baby is in your belly. And she rang me and she said, can I have a reading? And I was like, what did I say? She's like, just come to my house. I'm sat there. She's spread out. She's ready for a baby. Like in a week, fine. And I don't do pregnancies, but this baby was so adamant. If you're certain, I'm certain. And I would just say in reply to Amy Moon, maybe a little bit deep, but shamans, all sorts of priests, gurus, what have you, since the beginning of time were created and inspired by fertility. Fertility is a driving force of religion. Fertility and death are what made us turn to the idea that there might be a God. The bridge between life and the continuation of life and the cycle of life is driven by fertility and dying. So if we're not supposed to talk about fertility, then surely we're supposed to not talk about anything, because they're the two bases. Love creates fertility. If we talk about love, then fertility is part of it.
It's the circle of life. Right, sadly, guys, sorry, Tyler, Ricky, and Jason, and we're going to call this a night, I'm afraid.
Oh man, I was just getting into it. I'm just
right.
Thank you ever so much to Jason, to Tyler, and to Ricky for coming along tonight. I really enjoyed the conversation, even though I didn't get a chance to say much. Just to let everybody know, tomorrow night we have our demonstration of mediumship at 8:00. I think it's Heidi Cook, I think. Don't quote me. Hopefully Monica can correct that. So she's a new face to the channel at 8:00 tomorrow. So thank you ever so much, gentlemen, for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed yourself.
Thank you, Richard.
Everybody at home has enjoyed it.
Nice to meet both of you. It's been lovely, and I hope you enjoyed